Win a Pageant, episode 74. I created this step-by-step process after training thousands of women across the U.S. to win. Now you can have access to these winning strategies when you join me every Wednesday. Let's win a pageant. Hey girl, welcome back to the Win a Pageant podcast. I'm your coach, Alicia Darby, and I am thrilled that you are tuning in today. Thanks for being here. In today's episode, we're talking all about your interview. Now, maybe you have never competed in a pageant before and you just want a jump start to know what to really expect or what to avoid. Or maybe you've done tons of pageant interviews before and you're really just at the place where you're ready to up your game a bit. This episode is perfect for you no matter which side of the spectrum you're on. Now, if you've been searching for trainings to help you win your pageant or tracking the success of other pageant women, then you know the power of the pageant interview. It plays a role not just to win over the judges, but to actually win the entire pageant. Maybe you've even sat on a judging panel as one of those judges that were totally wowed by the contestant and excited to actually choose her as the winner. So why is it that the idea of pageant interview makes you so nervous? It's probably one of these reasons. Either you don't mind putting in some effort, but you totally hate watching the news and talking about current events. Maybe you love the idea of making a genuine connection with a judge, but you just kind of doubt your ability to communicate what you really want to say. Maybe you are great at talking to people, but as soon as it becomes an interview, you suddenly just clam up. Pageant women like you and me, we do not have the luxury of throwing away a single second of the interview. Pageant interviews are so short, you have got to maximize every moment. And if you've ever done a pageant interview before, you know that scary feeling of just not knowing what the judges are thinking or how you did until the finals roll around. Ugh is not the worst feeling, right? And you have to know what you're doing is the right thing and that your strategy is actually going to work. That gets rid of that horrible feeling and suddenly you just feel light as a feather. In my experience, I have found that 4 major myths are to blame for this horrible pit of the stomach feeling that just makes you nauseous before going into your interview and ends up leaving you with no title at all. So I'm going to debunk those myths for you here in this episode, and I'm going to show you how to replace them with truly effective strategies that will actually reward your hard work and have you end up just blowing kisses from the stage in your brand new pageant crown, okay? So let's dive in to myth number 1. The first myth is that pageant interview is really more of a natural skill and it's not a trained strategy. That is so far from the truth. What most pageant women think of as the interview phase is really just a small fraction of what the pageant interview really entails. Most women view interview as just showcasing your personality naturally, when in fact, the personality aspect is really only about 15 to 20% of the entire well-designed interview strategy. A truly effective interview strategy involves 4 key stages: preparation, planning, performance, and practice. And all of these must be executed in perfect harmony in order for the judges to see you as someone even worthy of the title. So basically, your interview isn't an isolated phase of competition, but it's the major component to an entire system with many moving parts, very specific goals, and subtle characteristics that need to be pulled out at just the right time. My pageant interview system is so much more than just a list of questions with some exciting answers and a pop of personality. Specifically, my pageant interview system includes strategic development of all of the elements of pageant, from myself and the judges to the pageant mission itself, all coordinated around my personal themes and story development. It also includes a leadership style to guide the judges, communication skills that develop a connection between each one of the judges, a focus on pageant marketing, and collaborative planning with consistent actions. And gosh, the list goes on and on and on and on. There's like so much more. And when everything lines up perfectly, you suddenly grab hold of a simple and effective machine that becomes the foundation of your pageant competition, that's going to be the thing that gives you the opportunity to perform consistently across all phases of competition. The next myth I want to share with you is that interview prep is a ton of effort and it's super confusing. That's why everyone's so nervous. That is a myth. And okay, it's true that interviews aren't easy. That's why everybody's nervous. But that does not mean that they can't be simple. When you've got the right A to Z blueprint that leaves nothing to chance, it really demystifies all of it. From the best ways to articulate your greatest strengths to knowing exactly how to respond to even the toughest questions, a step-by-step blueprint can take an otherwise very complex strategy and make it totally achievable even for the busiest pageant woman. And I know that most of us are super busy, so we really do need it boiled down into a very step-by-step process to make it manageable. And let me tell you this, for the woman that actually has this blueprint, she is not nervous. Plus, the fact that everyone else is nervous and confused gives her a huge competitive advantage because she's got the unique opportunity to be the absolute best in comparison to all of the other contestants, since she's got the keys to confidently nail her interview. Now, yes, it is true that executing a pageant interview strategy does require effort. But you've already proven that you are willing to put in the effort. You just want to make sure that all of the effort and energy that you put into any plan isn't going to be wasteful. You want it to actually lead you closer to the crown. What you cannot afford to do is waste time and energy continuing to try to figure it out on your own through Google searches or watching the news every night or just practicing a zillion questions. Which leads me to the next myth. Myth number 3 is, oh, I'm fine. I'm a people person and I practice questions all the time. Now, while it is really great that you enjoy talking to people and that you're willing to practice, that same effort could easily become a major harm to you and to your performance if you fail to understand that many factors go into the full interview process. First of all, you are responsible for leading your interview. How you end your answer is more important than how you begin it. Your emotions could throw you off if they're out of control. Sticking to your personal themes will enhance and not distract your judges. There are things that you may have been taught to say or to do, and now those things might make your judges want to just completely dismiss you from the room. So it's really not enough to just practice questions over and over or to memorize your answers to the most common questions. Please do not do that. There are very specific things that you must do to make sure that your judges head in the right direction. You want them to trust you and like what you are saying. So when you add it all up, it's not safe to just keep practicing questions over and over and over if you really want to succeed in the interview room. And myth number 4 that I'm going to bust, this is the one that is so bustable, and that is, it's just too late. My pageant is only a month away. Okay, now maybe it is too late for past pageants, but if you've still got a month, then it is not too late for this one. When you have an actual step-by-step blueprint of exactly what you need to do, then you cannot use that excuse that it's too late. And you've got to start right away because that, my dear, is how you win a pageant. Now, of course, I am making light of all of these myths, but I want you to know that they are myths for a reason because they really are circulating out there in the industry, that people do believe these things. And I did for many years as well. And what they sort of do, these myths, is that they create what I call rookie mistakes. And so women that are new to pageants kind of do the same mistakes over and over and over. And I see these all the time, first of all in my own experience, but then also in working with thousands of women. I mean, I've worked with women in all ages and all different types of pageants, and I see these mistakes over and over and over. And with my VIP clients, we stop them before they start. So I wanted to give to you a collection of the top 3 rookie mistakes that pageant women make specifically in pageant interview. So I'm giving that guide away for free at winapageant.com/74. 74 is this episode number. So all you've got to do is go to that page, enter your name and email, and you will get an email that has a link that you can download that guide instantly. I do not want you making the same mistakes that I've made or that I've seen other women make. I really want you to just be able to sidestep that and just go for the gold. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you on the next Win a Pageant Wednesday. Hey there, I'm Alicia Darby, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching that last video. If you totally loved it and got something from it, would you just click subscribe right here to subscribe to our YouTube channel? Hey, I am here for you, and I've got so many more trainings and videos for you. In fact, this one would be a really great one to watch next. Or if that topic doesn't interest you, then try this one. It's my most recent video training. So I think both of these would be really great for you. Thank you again so much for subscribing. I am honored to be your coach. I'll see you again soon.